All right, Yankees fans, buckle up because things are moving fast in the Bronx. The front office isn't just sitting around after that brutal postseason exit. They're tearing into this offseason with purpose. And when I say purpose, I mean it's already started with some major changes to the coaching staff that are catching everyone's attention. You can tell right away that this isn't going to be a quiet winter for the Yankees. There's a new tone, a sense of urgency, and it begins with a big message. The old routine is done. It's time for a new direction. So here's where it all starts. Two longtime members of the coaching staff won't be returning for the 2026 season. After years of loyalty and experience, bullpen coach Mike Harkey and first base and infield coach Travis Chapman are out. Their contracts won't be renewed, and that's a huge statement from the front office. It shows that the organization isn't just going to make cosmetic changes. They're willing to shake up the foundation if it means getting this team back to championship form. Now, let's talk about Harkey first. This man has been a fixture in pinstripes for what feels like forever. He's been around since 2016 in his most recent run, but his connection with the Yankees goes all the way back to 2008. That's 16 years in total as the bullpen coach, guiding pitcher after pitcher through countless high-pressure moments. But lately, the bullpen hasn't been the lockdown unit Yankees fans are used to seeing. There were too many late-inning heartbreaks, too many leads that slipped away. It reached a point where even diehard fans started to wonder if changes were overdue. And clearly, the front office agreed. Reports say Harkey himself took the news with class, expressing nothing but gratitude for his time in New York. But the truth is, this move was probably inevitable. The bullpen performance last season simply didn't meet expectations. Key relievers regressed, the overall consistency wasn't there, and those issues cost the Yankees dearly, not just in games but in playoff seeding. You could see it coming. The team can't keep letting late-game collapses define their season. Then there's Travis Chapman, who joined the Major League staff back in 2022 after working his way up through the Yankees farm system. Internally, he was known for his attention to detail and his knack for picking up small tendencies from opposing pitchers. That's a valuable skill in any coaching staff. But the results on the field didn't quite reflect that promise. The infield defense took a step backward this past season, and it was painfully obvious at times. Young star Anthony Volpe had his struggles at shortstop, and the defensive unit overall looked far less sharp than in previous years. When your infield becomes a liability, it's hard to win consistently in this league. So this change, while tough, makes sense. It's not just a random firing. It's a response to visible performance issues that the Yankees can't afford to ignore. But don't think this is just about who's leaving. There's also a new face stepping up, Jake Hurst, the hitting coordinator from within the organization. Hurst has been working his way through the Yankees minor league system since 2019, and now he's finally getting a shot at the big leagues. It's a bold move, but one that shows the front office believes in promoting talent from within. He's known for bringing energy, modern hitting philosophies, and a strong connection with young players. It feels like the Yankees are trying to infuse some fresh perspective into a clubhouse that desperately needs new ideas. And here's where things get even more interesting. Alongside Hurst's promotion, assistant hitting coach Pat Rossler will not be returning in his current role. There's talk that he might stay in the organization in another capacity, but that's still up in the air. What's clear is that the Yankees are overhauling multiple areas of their coaching staff at once. That doesn't happen by accident. This is part of a bigger vision to reset the culture and demand more accountability. After a season marked by inconsistency, it feels like the message is being sent loud and clear. Performance matters, and loyalty alone won't save anyone's job. You can sense the ripple effect through the organization. When longtime figures like Harkey and Chapman are let go, everyone else starts to look around. The rest of the coaching staff knows the same thing could happen to them if results don't follow. And honestly, that might be exactly what the Yankees need, a sense of urgency from top to bottom. This isn't a rebuild, it's a reawakening. The team still has talent, still has the firepower to compete for championships, but it needs sharper execution, smarter decisions, and a stronger mindset. Now, if we zoom out a bit, it's pretty clear why the front office is acting this way. That postseason elimination still stings. Getting bounced early after such high expectations never sits well, especially in New York. The fans demand excellence, and so does ownership. When you have one of the biggest payrolls in baseball, there's no patience for mediocrity. So these changes are about more than just fixing technical issues. They're about reigniting that championship mentality that's been missing for a while. But here's what's wild. This might only be the beginning. There are whispers around the league that other roles could also be under review. Bench coach Brad Ausmus, third base coach Luis Rojas, even pitching coach Matt Blake, all have contracts or club options that could be evaluated. And with manager Aaron Boone's future still uncertain, you can feel that this offseason could bring even more headlines. Boone hasn't gotten a clear public vote of confidence yet, and that silence from the front office is starting to feel louder by the day. What's fascinating is that while the Yankees are cleaning house in certain areas, they're also being careful not to throw everything out at once. They know some parts of this coaching staff are crucial to the team's identity. Take James Rosen, the hitting coach, for example. He's been instrumental in keeping the Yankees' offense among the best in the league, even when everything else has been chaotic. But now, even that could be at risk. Reports suggest that the Minnesota Twins have been granted permission to interview him for their open managerial position. Think about that. The architect of one of the most productive offenses in baseball could be leaving. If Rosen does end up moving on, it would be a massive loss. Under his guidance, the Yankees posted one of the league's top offensive numbers, with a strong on-base percentage and impressive power metrics. He's helped revitalize players like Giancarlo Stanton, worked closely with Aaron Judge to fine-tune his discipline at the plate, and brought younger hitters back into rhythm. Losing him would create a serious void in the staff, especially since the Yankees are already promoting Hurst to the big leagues. That means they'd be losing their proven leader in hitting development right when a new philosophy is being introduced. For the Twins, though, this move makes perfect sense. Rosen has history there. He was part of the organization from 2017 to 2019, back when Minnesota's Bomba squad set the home run record. They know what he can do, and they clearly believe he can bring that spark back. For the Yankees, it would sting to see him go, not just because of his results, but because of what he represents: stability and success in a time when both feel scarce. So yeah, Yankees fans, buckle in. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most transformative in recent memory. The team is making tough calls, and it's obvious they're not afraid to ruffle feathers if that's what it takes to get back to dominance. The bullpen's being reimagined, the infield's being reevaluated, and even the offensive leadership might be changing. You can feel the energy shifting. It's the start of something big, even if it's uncomfortable right now. All right, Yankees fans, let's dig even deeper into what's really going on behind the scenes, because these coaching changes aren't just random names being crossed off a list. This is about accountability, identity, and a front office finally admitting that what worked in the past isn't good enough anymore. After that disappointing playoff exit, there's been a real shift in tone. You can feel it. It's no longer about small tweaks or hoping things just click. It's about confronting the real problems that have been holding this team back, one by one. Take the bullpen, for example. For years, that was the backbone of the Yankees, the part of the team that could lock down a lead and crush opponents' hopes in the late innings. But in 2025, it was the complete opposite. How many times did we watch a game slip away in the 8th or 9th inning? How many times did fans leave the stadium shaking their heads after another blown save? It became a pattern, and once that happens, it's impossible to ignore. Mike Harkey has been a loyal, well-respected figure in that dugout, but at some point, loyalty can't outweigh performance. 16 years is a long time in any role, especially one that demands constant results. The front office clearly saw that the bullpen's decline was more than just bad luck. It was a symptom of stagnation. And let's not pretend this decision was easy. Harkey was a player's coach, someone who had deep relationships with the pitchers he worked with. But sometimes those close bonds make it harder to deliver hard truths. When a team starts to crumble under pressure, you need someone who could demand more, push harder, and shake things up. That's exactly what the Yankees are looking for now. They want fresh energy, someone who sees the game through a different lens, someone who won't hesitate to make adjustments before it's too late. The same story applies to Travis Chapman. He's smart, observant, and respected within the system, but resulted the ultimate currency in Major League Baseball. The Yankees' infield defense fell apart at key moments, and that can't happen for a team that expects to win titles. Anthony Volpe's struggles at shortstop were particularly painful to watch, not because of a lack of effort, but because his potential is too high to be left unfulfilled. When your young cornerstone player takes a step back defensively, the coaching staff has to share the responsibility. That's the reality of the job. You can't keep preaching patience when the errors pile up and the defense costs you games. These moves are part of a broader statement from the Yankees front office that accountability matters at every level. For too long, the conversation around this team has focused on injuries, bad luck, or missed opportunities. But none of that changes the fact that the Yankees haven't lived up to their own standard. This franchise is built on championships, not excuses. And that's why this offseason feels different. It's not just about replacing a few coaches. It's about resetting the entire mindset of the organization. Jake Hurst's promotion perfectly captures that shift. He's not a big name, but he represents the next generation of baseball thinking. The game has evolved. Hitting philosophies, data analysis, approach at the plate, everything is different now. Hurst is part of that evolution. He's been praised for his connection with young players and his ability to modernize hitting strategies across the Yankees farm system. Bringing him up to the major league staff sends a clear message. The Yankees want to bridge the gap between their player development success and their big league inconsistencies. They're betting on someone who understands how to translate the process of growth into on-field results. But there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding the rest of the staff. Bench coach Brad Ausmus and third base coach Luis Rojas are both waiting to hear what's next, and that silence from the front office is fueling speculation that more moves are on the way. Even pitching coach Matt Blake, who has earned praise for his analytical approach, isn't entirely safe. The organization is reviewing everything from communication between staff to player development alignment. It's a full-scale evaluation of how the Yankees operate day-to-day, and that's the kind of deep introspection that's been missing for a while. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In what could be one of the most talked about moves of the season, whispers around the league suggest the New York Yankees have quietly secured Logan Webb to anchor their pitching rotation. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the organization hint that discussions have been progressing rapidly, and insiders are buzzing with speculation about the impact Webb could have in pinstripes. For years, Webb has been recognized as one of the National League's most consistent arms, blending control, velocity, and an assortment of pitches that keep hitters guessing. Rumors circulating in clubhouse circles imply that the Yankees see him as more than just a starter. They view him as a cornerstone of a rotation that's been searching for stability and dominance. If this happens, it's huge, one unnamed source allegedly said. He's exactly the type of pitcher that thrives in New York, and the Yankees know it. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting what a Webb-led rotation could mean. With the Yankees' already potent offense, adding a front-line starter capable of shutting down opposing lineups could tilt the balance of power in the American League. Some insiders are already predicting that Webb's presence could allow other pitchers in the rotation to settle into more comfortable roles, potentially reshaping the team's strategy heading into the regular season. Of course, the murmurs aren't without skepticism. Critics point out Webb's workload in recent years and question whether he can adapt to the pressures of Yankee Stadium and the heightened media scrutiny. Yet, supporters argue that his composure and pitch selection make him uniquely suited for high-pressure environments. Whatever the truth, the rumor mill is running wild. Social media channels are alight with debate, mock lineups, and fantasy league speculation. If the whispers are true, the Yankees may have just signaled their intent to dominate not just in the clubhouse, but across the league, a total assertion of power that could define their season. Stay tuned. If the Webb to Yankees story solidifies, this could be the start of a new era in New York, one where the rotation finally mirrors the franchise's championship ambitions. For now, it's all smoke, mirrors, and tantalizing possibilities. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.